So here it is, Friday, 6:30 Central Standard Time, and that can only mean one thing. We're live streaming about pursuing the passion of RPG and tabletop RPG hobbies and passions, and it's one of the hobbies that I'm very passionate about among many, but definitely something that I've been able to explore over a number of years, ever since 1982, something that I have attempted to pass on to my kids and shared with family and friends, and really experienced quite the personal journey through tabletop role-playing games. So our show tonight is just pursuing that passion. Generally, we do a lot of reviews and really talk about products and people and all different kinds of things. Now, last week we said that we were going to explore a little bit on things like dice boxes and dice bags. We did a video a while ago. You can find it on our YouTube, where we did reviews on different dice and dice sets. And I thought we did a pretty good deep dive on it. If you're curious about it, you can check it out on our YouTube. Before we get into all the good stuff on the big screen behind me, I do want to say that we have started a goal push to get up to 20 followers. So we're at 15 right now. For us, we're not looking for subscribers. We're looking for people to engage and follow the channel, and hopefully to help grow the community and help us connect to other people who are interested in some of the same aspects of this area of tabletop role-playing game as I am so passionate about, and Tammy enables me to dive into. So with that being said, if you're not already, please give us a follow and help us grow our community. Now, the products that we're going to cover today, at first I was feeling a little kind of funky about it because these are products that I'm going to be talking about and fiddling with and everything that we actually produce. So I didn't want it to come across as just an advertisement for us. Now, this is not our primary gig. We don't create these to generate a big profit or anything like that. This is some of the crafting hobby elements that we do, and then once we're done with them, we put them on currently eBay just to see if other people are interested in them and they can purchase them. The pricing will go over some of it. It's not exact, of course, because we don't have like hard and fast retail aspects that we try to, accomplish. This is a passion project, and really that's it. So with that being said, if you are interested in any of them, drop a comment or reach out to us via email, and we'll be happy to provide even more details and show you where you can get these. If you do become a patron of ours, you do receive one of these, and as long as you're a patron, you can get updated ones every time you resubscribe and support us here. This is one of the small ways that we use some of the earnings that we get on it to improve the channel. So better equipment, we've got better mics, better cameras, better systems. So everything that we do from this passion, we put into the channel so that we can get better and better to help serve the community. That's our goal. So with all of that big talk out of the way, like I said, my biggest fear is I don't want this to feel like an advertisement. I don't want this to be an ad. But if you're passionate about RPGs, tabletop RPGs, generally you're going to have dice, right? Dice are a big part of tabletop role-playing games, and generally it doesn't matter the system. Dice come into play in some aspect. So for me, as I was thinking about things that I could do that would be fun and interesting and entertaining, I really started with dice. What's a universal thing that goes across all different types of RPGs is dice. So what's something that we could do for people who give us support, or something that people might find interest in, is dice carrying. A lot of people are going from place to place, and whether they're going to conventions or gaming stores or a buddy's house or a family's house, friends' houses, whatever the case may be. A lot of time we spend things in transit. Additionally from that, a lot of things that we do, we want to display. We don't buy them just for the functionality, right? Dice sets that we pick out generally have some type of meaning to us. So being able to display some of the aspects of our passion is super important to me as well. So some of the things that we've done, and again, primarily just out of passion more than anything, is work on things like Italian leather dice bags, right? This has got a beautiful Celtic knot and drawstring and just a leather dice bag. So this is one that Tammy actually created. It's all hand done, hand saddle stitch, the whole 9 yards, and just a cool dice bag. So this one actually is not for sale. This is one of my personal ones, and I just love it because I have so many dice. I can put one set in here, and now I'm going to have one full set that I feel good about. It's going to give me some good rolls. So this one here is one that I really like and enjoy. Early on, before we started getting into things like leather dice bags, dice boxes became something that we really did a lot of. And like I said, this was more kind of a two-pronged approach. One was, is this something that we can use to burn up some time to craft and enjoy downtime, and then be able to offer it to people and use that money to purchase more supplies for building up our channel and following? And would this be something that people would be interested in? So we bought a lot of just blank boxes, hand sanded them, hand painted or hand finished them. We have a consistent like felt bottom so they don't slide as easy, especially on a table. They've got some good grip. And then put a felt lining on it so that as you have dice in there, when they're loose, we'll just pop some of these ones in there. It's pretty quiet, so it's not as loud as dice rolling around on wood. If you've ever rolled dice onto a dice tray or anything, you know it can be kind of loud. So these types of dice boxes, we thought, well, that's kind of cool and not super expensive and something that we could see people enjoying. So we really started out with picking out what we thought would be cool dice sets, and then utilizing the boxes to kind of augment that dice set, to tie it in and be unique and different. So you can see this one still needs its lining, but this one will actually have a sparkle black set when it's done. Let's get these ones back in here. And then a lot of resin molding. So these ones are not felt lined. You can definitely hear the difference, but you're able to get different aspects on it. This one's got a bronze dragon that is affixed to the lid. This one is not probably as good for transport because it is just a removable lid, but a very cool color and design, and it plays right into the dice. So we start with dice and then build and design a box around it. So this one, I think we're calling it, the Hobbit one, because it's got these little oak leaves and D20, and then just green shimmer dice. It's a very neutral one. This is a smaller dice box, you can see, but just small elements to augment whether you're carrying your dice and popping them out on the table, a little bit of opportunity for you to have some characteristic talking point or even a display. So like this one is all based off of Norse Hugin and Mugen, the crows of Odin, sugar skulls, all different kinds of things, just black sparkles. As we were starting to do these a little bit more and more, like I said, we have some on eBay, very cool stuff, and then we offer them for patrons. When you sign up to be a patron, you get a dice box or dice bag, depending on the level that you that you become a patron at. But for me, one of the aspects of this that I thought was really kind of interesting was the amount of, I guess, pre-painted aspects that people were really excited for. So we have a lot of blanks so that we could do custom, and people could contact us and let us know what they want to see on it, and then we can find dice to match it and put it all together if they have a particular fondness for, let's say, a class image, something that's going to be representative of a class that they love to play. Ranger, let's say, we could go greens and browns and camos and things like that. But the more that I just kind of painted and put up, especially dragons have been just really super popular. So just a quick call out on one of the things that we do as we pursue our passion that ultimately we hope people will enjoy and partake and help support us with. Were items like dice boxes. As I said, I use some. I've got 3 actually that I carry with me. I carry a dice bag, obviously. I carry a smaller dice box for a set that is actually metal that I want to keep separate from all my others, just because it's easy to track and keep track of. And then I have a larger box that has all my loose dice, because I always have dice in case anybody needs or wants to use them at the table, especially for the times when I am doing introductory games and campaigns that are focused on new players, really allowing them to come to the table with nothing, just an open mind, and be able to play the game like everybody else. So I have a very large box that I bring. Just, I don't know how many dice sets I have in there, probably 30, I would guess, a lot. And it's just, I put it in the center of the table and it's there for people to utilize. But as I said, for carrying dice sets, being able to pop this out on the table, have that conversation piece, or to be able to put on display for a dice set that you use throughout a campaign that is really memorable, being able to put your dice in that and put it up on the mantle or in a display case. We've had a couple of people ask for things like that before. But a great way to carry around, display, and support your love of the dice particularly, but the tabletop aspect of the community. Now, a lot more people are going with things like electronic dice rollers. I'm definitely not out of the loop on that. On occasion, I use mine in both D&D Beyond as well as on Roll20. I also have a dice rolling app that's called Dos X, and while those are quick and easy and handy and everything, again, the aspect of the tactility of being able to hold and roll your dice, for me, I think maybe because I grew up rolling dice, physically rolling dice, there is just that element that really brings me a level of familiarity and comfort almost, I think, when we're around the table and I'm able to pick up and actually roll the dice and know that what those dice have experienced through the years of play, some of the rolls they've had, both good and bad, it's kind of a connection, a deeper connection for me personally to have that tactile aspect of gaming particularly. So for me, something like this was kind of a no-brainer piece that we wanted to get into. With that being said, like I said, I don't want this to be just an advertisement for us. What I would like to do is throw out a challenge for people. If you are in the VODs seeing this after it airs, because this is our shortest show of the week, if you catch this on a VOD, I would love to hear just a quick comment or message from you on how you store your dice, if you're having to transfer or not. If you're catching this video on YouTube, make sure you give a message. Let me know what you think about the aspect of dice carrying and dice display, dice bags, dice boxes. Is it something that you have some type of a personal connection with as well, for that tactility or for fond memories? Maybe you got a dice set as a gift and it just means something special, but you never use them. I'd love to hear your stories on what dice and dice storage means to you. Because as I look at things like this, and to just having my own perspective, it's something that I think about on and off, especially when I'm working on the dice boxes. Is this something that is going to be, something meaningful down the road? Is this something that is going to have an impact on the person who ends up owning it? Is this something that is going to be more laughable and a joke? I did one that was like psychedelic colors, and I think it had a big old mushroom on the front, and it was all just for fun more than anything. But what does it mean to you for your dice storage and dice transportation and dice collection? Is it something that you're as passionate about as me? Is it something that has any type of an impact on the way you play or at the table? Does it start discussions? Are there aspects that lead into conversations about the game or about the way that the games go based on your love or maybe your loathing of dice? I'd love to hear comments. I'd love to hear feedback. I'd love to kind of pick everybody's brains and see what does it mean to you on the aspect of dice, dice storage, and dice display. Because again, this is just something that's important to me, and I'd love to hear more aspects of it. This is something I don't talk a lot about because growing up, when I did, a lot of my RPG aspects I really repressed and did not put on display or talk about or anything. Of course, we were in the height of the Satanic Panic, so if you were into D&D and RPGs in general, it was very challenging because that was viewed as wrong. And then as I got older and the Satanic Panic kind of died off, then it was just dorky, right? And so again, I did not talk about some of these aspects. So now that it's more widespread, I feel like I'm able to actually start having these conversations that I have been dying to talk to people about for years. So your feedback, your comments, your just input is so beneficial for me, just to feel like I'm catching up a little bit, and again, sharing and building a community of support for the love of the hobby. So before I sign off, again, make sure if you're not already following us, give us a follow. We're not looking for subscribers right now. We're just looking to grow our following and be able to have the algorithm reach or help us reach more people who are interested to share and engage with our content. That's really focused on this aspect for tabletop role-playing games and all items that encompass it, from miniature painting, books, paper, creativity, crafting, the whole 9 yards. I'd love to have you follow us and help us grow. Thank you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Remember, tomorrow we're going live at noon to start painting some miniatures. Every Saturday, 12 Central Standard Time, we're painting some miniatures. Tomorrow we've got some big ones that we need to get over the finish line, as well as some that are kind of in process. We covered flesh, I believe, 2 weeks ago really well. We talked a lot about white last week. This week we've got a lot of aspects to cover, and I'd love to paint with you and spend the afternoon just enjoying another aspect of tabletop role-playing game experience. So be sure to tune in, 12 Central Standard Time, and we'll see you then. Until then, let us know what you think of dice transportation, and dice display, and also where your adventures take you. Bye-bye.